Hello and welcome back to Stomp City and another episode of ECW Lives on TEW 2016, and today it is time for part 2 of the ECW Fight Series. And of course, if you're not familiar with the rules, make sure you check out the last episode, which I'll leave in the corner now. You'll see a card up there, and in that episode I explain the rules as well as the results of the first 2 rounds of the group stage. But today it is going to be round 3 and 4, which will give us a better idea of who is going to progress through these groups into the semi-finals, onto the final, and ultimately becoming the ECW World Heavyweight Champion #1 contender. So let's get into it, and as you can see on the screen now, this is the groups as they stand. In Group A, Minoru Tanaka is top of the group with 3 points, with Raven and Samoa Joe trailing him with 1 point each after they drew. Of course, Tanaka beat Samoa Joe in week 1, which gives him that lead. And in Group B, we have Bill Goldberg. After 2 dominant wins via knockout in the first 2 rounds, he leads the group with 6 points, with Bryan Danielson and Lance Storm sitting on 0 points. That will change today though, as they both face each other twice in the next 2 rounds. And then in Group C, we have leading the pack at the minute CM Punk, who has picked up 2 draws both against Brian Kendrick and Prince Devitt. But of course, he's had 2 matches so far. Brian Kendrick and Prince Devitt have only had the 1 each. And today that will change as they go up against each other again twice, which will give one of them a potentially great chance of going top of the group. And currently joint top of Group D is Yun Akiyama and Ken Shamrock, both with a win over Heavy Metal in part 1, and both will be looking to pick up the 6 points that are available on the board. So let's get into the first match, which will be the Group C match between Brian Kendrick and Prince Devitt. And coming away with the victory via submission is Prince Devitt, and he has defeated Brian Kendrick in 12 minutes 20 by submission with a Devitt's end. And this only got a 61C, but a big win for Prince Devitt, as he now has 4 points on the board and has leapfrogged CM Punk into first position as it stands, and he's in a good position to win this group now as we go forward. And next up, we're going to go into the Group B match between Bryan Danielson and Lance Storm. Now, this should be a wrestling masterclass between these two. It's somewhat of a dream match, really. And they're currently joint bottom of the group with 0 points, but that can't be the case after this match. They're going to have at least 1 point each, of course, if they get the draw, and then someone could come away with the 3 points. So let's see what happens. And coming away with a victory in this one, after a submission with a Canadian maple leaf, it is Lance Storm for his first win, I think, since returning to ECW. And it's a big win over Bryan Danielson in 16 minutes 46. And it's good to see that they've got great chemistry. It showed in their performance. And both men on a 58, so even Stevens today in terms of match ratings. And overall, they got a 64C. So again, another C from this show. A little bit worrying for the overall rating, but I think the 2 remaining matches will make up for it. So we'll get into them now, and we're going to next go into the Group A match between Minoru Tanaka and Raven. And of course, Minoru Tanaka currently sitting top of the group with 3 points, and Raven could leapfrog him with a victory today. And this is the first time Group A haven't headlined a show. And tonight it's going to be Yun Akiyama and Heavy Metal main eventing, so hopefully they can step up. But let's see how the semi-main event goes, as in a great match, 83B+, Minoru Tanaka has defeated Raven in 17 minutes 13 by submission with a Minoru special. And apparently they don't click, which is not good, but still, 83B+, I'll take it any day. Tanaka with an 80, so not, I think he got an 89 in the last episode, so not quite up to that standard, but still great performance from Minoru. And Raven with a 67, again, not his best performance, I wouldn't think. But Tanaka apparently was off his game tonight, but still, as I say, the match rating is more than good enough and makes up for those C's so far. And now it's going to be tough for the main event to match this. But Raven is improving in his performance skills as Minoru Tanaka goes even further ahead of the pack with 6 points, 5 points ahead of Raven and Samoa Joe, and the clear favourite now to advance from Group A. But let's get into the main event, which will see Yun Akiyama, the former 0-1 heavyweight champion, taking on Heavy Metal, and it's a chance for Yun Akiyama to go top of the group with 6 points, and Heavy Metal could catch the rest of the group up, making it 3 points each. And the winner of the match is Yun Akiyama in 15 minutes 20 by submission, so the 4th submission of the night. And there's been no draws tonight, it's been all clean victories, and Yun Akiyama comes away with the 3 points. And in terms of in-ring performances, 75 for Yun, so the best of the match, with Heavy Metal getting a 58. And rating-wise, it's okay for a main event, I'll take it. Not quite as good as the Minoru Tanaka Raven match, but still, it's good to have a different group main event in the show for once, instead of just Group A. So I'm happy with that. I wasn't actually expecting that high of a rating, I was thinking more of the B minuses. Big win for Yun Akiyama in the main event of Revolt, and he advances to the top of the group, no longer joint on 3 points to Ken Shamrock. He's got 6 to his name and has put himself in the driver's seat for Group D. And overall 77B, and we've increased our popularity in 18 regions, which is every region available, so good stuff. We didn't sell out the armory tonight though, and before we can get into the next show, we're going to have to deal with Raven, who again has wrestled drunk and high. We're going to fine him for that one, and now we have to deal with the drugs, so that last one was for drink. So again, fine him, and he's unhappy. Well, you putting Minoru Tanaka in danger, mate. So, and before we continue, I'm going to be taking over another company, and this time we're going to be buying All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling, and I've noticed that they are available for a takeover, and there's a lot of good talent on their roster, and of course this will be a big addition to our women's division if we do get one. The plan is to sign them onto developmental deals, but a lot of them I can't actually sign right now because they don't work in America, so this is sort of a workaround. So I'm going to take all the contracts on, sort through them, find the best ones, release those that aren't up to scratch, and sign the very best. And a lot of the best women's wrestlers in the world, at least at this point in time, work for this company. So, and this is of course the promotion that we signed Minami Toyota from, and she's been putting on great performances. So you've got Aja Kong, you've got Bull Nakano, Maiko Satomura, so there's a lot of big names anyway. So we're going to take them all on, sign them all, and we're also going to take their world title as well, and that will be potentially our women's title. We'll see though, it might become a 0-1 championship, but it's got a lot of prestige, so it's worth taking. We're going to leave the other two, we're just going to stick with the one. That's it, so we're going to do that, and we're going to pillage them, and there we go. It costs 75,000, and they are no more. Now we have a lot of talent to work with. If we look at one, for example, Bull Nakano, one of the greatest heels in the history of Joshi, which is Japanese women's wrestling. She's currently got a 15-year career, 16 now in the game, and she's become a monster who is incredibly agile, and she's known for a crazy straight up hair. And if you look at her stats, you got 78 Puro, 75 Brawling, consistency 85, safety 90, 83 B+. Someone that we can't normally sign, as I say, only works in Japan, but now she works for us. So let's get into the next episode of Revolt, and we're going to start with a dark match this time. I completely forgot to add them into the last show. So we're going to continue with the Shinsuke Nakamura experiment, and we're going to open up with a match against Low Ki, and this time Shinsuke gets the win in 14 minutes 48 by pinfall, and he got a 55 in this match, with Low Ki getting a 56. So a solid mid-card performance already from Nakamura. He's looking like a bit of a star already, and I'm a little bit gutted that I didn't put him in the fight series now, but yeah, I might have to come up with some plans for Nakamura heading into the future. Overall we got a 59C anyway, so solid match, and yeah, good way to get the crowd going. And let's get into the main show, and we start of course with the groups heading into this episode of Revolt, and Minoru Tanaka taking on Raven in tonight's main event, and Tanaka has a big opportunity to qualify from the group in this episode with a win over Raven. And also we're going to see Heavy Metal in the rematch against Yun Akiyama, and it's a good opportunity for Akiyama to pull away 6 points clear at top of Group D. And also in Group C, we've got the rematch between Devitt and Kendrick. Of course, in the last episode of Revolt, Prince Devitt picking up the victory there, putting himself top of the group. And again, Devitt can go at 5 points clear and 1 step closer to qualification with a win tonight. And Kendrick can leapfrog CM Punk with a victory. And we're going to start the show with Lance Storm taking on Bryan Danielson for the second time in 2 weeks. And Lance Storm currently sitting in second, so with a win here he can go joint top with Goldberg, and Bryan can catch up with Lance Storm with a victory tonight. So let's see how the show goes. And to open the show, Bryan Danielson has defeated Lance Storm in 15 minutes 54 by submission with a heel hook. And again, they've got great chemistry. Lance Storm with a 61-66 for Danielson, so outperforming Lance tonight. And overall we've got a 67 C+, so solid match. And that puts Bryan Danielson joint second in Group B, now sitting on 3 points, the first points for him of the fight series so far. And the best chance that Bryan Danielson and Lance Storm now have of qualifying is if they both beat Goldberg and then win the playoff games. So if there is a situation where multiple people have the same amount of points at the end of the group stage, so say they all have 6 points, which is possible if they both beat Goldberg, then there will be a playoff match which will decide who wins the group. So that's the only chance they've got of catching Bill now, is through the playoff game. Next up we go into the Group C match, where it's going to be top of the group Prince Devitt taking on bottom of the group Brian Kendrick. And in this one, Prince Devitt has beaten Brian Kendrick in 12 minutes 09 by submission with a Devitt end. And because this is the fourth time they've had this match, we've had a bit of a hit on the ratings, but it still turned out okay actually with a 43D. It's not going to be too effective of the show rating because the main event should give us the rating we need to boost the show right up. Kendrick coming out of this with a 59, Devitt with a 51, and this puts Prince Devitt on 7 points, 5 points clear now of CM Punk. And the only way CM Punk can qualify is with 2 wins from his remaining matches. So a big match for Punk next week when he takes on Devitt. And if Devitt manages to draw with CM Punk in that match, Devitt will qualify. But next up we go into the Yun Akiyama versus Heavy Metal match. And of course last time they fought, Yun Akiyama got the victory via submission. And a win today for Heavy Metal will put him on 3 points joint with Ken Shamrock as we head into the final rounds of the group stage. And again, the only way Heavy Metal can now qualify is through the playoff system. So he's going to be hoping for 2 wins, one against Yun Akiyama, one against Ken Shamrock, to give him any chance of qualifying. Then he's going to be relying on that Ken Shamrock-Yun Akiyama match to come to a Ken Shamrock victory, which would give it the 3-way tie once again. So we'll see if that situation does arise, because for now Heavy Metal has picked up the 3 points with a victory over Yun Akiyama by submission in 18 minutes 30, picking up his first points of the fight series. And overall 71C plus 57 for Heavy Metal, 71 for Yun Akiyama, so solid performance from him. And Heavy Metal improving in rumble and performance skills as well, so that's good to see. And like I say, Ken Shamrock and Heavy Metal now joint on the 3 points, Yun Akiyama on 6 points. And this of course means if Yun Akiyama beats Ken Shamrock on the last day of the group stage, he will win the group, so he's in a good position and it is now all in his hands. And next up, let's head into the main event, which this time it's going to be Group A once again for the 3rd time out of 4 rounds, and it's going to be Minoru Tanaka's rematch against Raven. And with a win today, as I say, Minoru Tanaka will qualify from the group, but unfortunately for him, he's lost the match to Raven in 15 minutes 03 when Raven beat Minoru Tanaka so badly that the referee had to stop the match. So Minoru Tanaka has been injured in this one, and the referee has said that he's not in the position to continue. So it's not Tanaka giving up or losing really, it's the referee's decision. and that has cost him tonight and puts Raven now on 4 points, opening the door for him to potentially win the group and qualify for those semi-finals. Minoru Tanaka again doesn't click with Raven, but still they've got an 81B, so imagine what it would be like if they did click. Tanaka with a 74, Raven with a 67, and Raven improving in performance skills. And we end the show with a 76B-, so a decent show. We've improved our popularity in 18 regions, and of course that helps us in our quest for national size. And of course in the next episode we're going to see the remaining 8 matches, which will be from Group A, Samoa Joe versus Raven and Minoru Tanaka versus Samoa Joe. Then in Group B we've got Goldberg and Lance Storm and Goldberg and Bryan Danielson, and that's a big opportunity for Bill Goldberg to qualify in his match against Lance Storm. And of course we've got Group C, where we're going to see CM Punk take on Prince Devitt, and anything but a win for CM Punk will see Prince Devitt take Group C and qualify for the semi-finals. And of course we've got Group D as well, and also we've got Punk versus Brian Kendrick in a bit of a blood feud there. We've also got Heavy Metal taking on Ken Shamrock, and Ken Shamrock taking on Yun Akiyama, and again a win for Yun Akiyama in that final game. No matter what happens between Heavy Metal and Ken Shamrock, we'll see him qualify from Group D. So all to play for, and hopefully you're excited for it. If you are, make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss another episode. Why not check out one of the videos that you can see on the screen right now. But until next time, peace.